Alright. Hi guys, my name's Daze, and this is the first time I've actually ever recorded myself like this. I'm home from work, I got comfy, and the first thing I wanted to do was talk about the Volume 6 trailer for RWBY that just came out yesterday by the time I'm recording this. You'll probably notice this is definitely different for me. I'm usually a writer, so I just want to try something new. So hopefully you guys will give me some good feedback down in the comments below. Maybe if you guys really like this, I'll continue on and do reactions. So I should probably preface this in saying I have already seen this trailer. I've actually watched it a few times, but I have noticed a lot of things, and I want to point them out to you guys. So let's watch it, and I'm going to also pause maybe a couple of times and show you what I'm noticing. So let's start. I love how this looks. Finally we get some cold areas.
It's important not to lose sight of what drives us.
So they're walking in the snow at a train station. Adam.
Reverence.
That's interesting. I definitely am stumped.
At the moment you put your desires before my own, they will be lost to you.
I always love her monologues. They're always so intense. I love Tyrion's back.
This is simply the truth.
Okay, our new Grimm. There's RWBY. Team attacks. Okay. So much happening in this little spans of time that I need to like pause to really so everything all at once. So overwhelming. A lot to say.
What's the plan, RWBY? Don't let anyone else die.
Okay. So now that we watched it all the way through, let's go back and see if we can pause on some of these moments. Alright, so we have a wintry area. So I think it was like at a Comic-Con that RWBY did confirm that they're already going to be on the Atlesian continent. Solus? I don't remember the name. You can correct me in the comments. So they're already going to be there. So I'm assuming this is what the landscape looks like, which is amazing because it looks like home to me, at least where I am in the world. So then, of course, we have Salem starting to talk. And then we have this one. So what I noticed from even last volume's trailer is that all of the scenes come from within the first 2 episodes, I think, 2 or 3. So this is everything that's going to be happening. So you can actually kind of break this down into like maybe 5 important scenes that they're showing you. This one I call a part of the train attack, because this is after the train is derailed and crashed that they have to find their way home. You notice they find another character here, an old woman character. I have so many theories about her. I think I'm actually going to film a video specifically about my theory on her next after I film this one. So if you're interested, maybe subscribe to look out for that one coming up. But of course they're crashed, so they need to actually get to Atlas another way, so of course they have to walk. I guess Yang was lucky and her ride survived. I believe Bumblebee is the name of her actual car or motorcycle. But I also find it interesting that the only one actually came prepared for the Atlas winters is Weiss, but I guess that's not surprising because she's from the area. She knows what to expect, unlike everyone else that's like, oh look, snow's a thing. Yeah, I'm a thing. Alright.
Sight of what drives us. Love.
So this is also probably going to be first scene-ish, volume 1, or not volume 1, episode 1, thank you. So this is the first scene. So you're going to see that they're trying to board the actual train. So this is a train station in Mistral, and you can kind of tell if you notice some of the background characters here, they do have the Mistral clothes. So they are still in Mistral or outside of that taking a train to get up north. So you can tell because also Weiss has a bag, she's clearly packed and ready to go.
Justice.
So then you have White Fang, which we also know is on a wind down arc, so we're going to see less of them. So makes sense that this is going to be Adam's last hurrah. So clearly, after his failure at Haven, he's going to start acting out even more, and he's killing off some of the White Fang members that he feels maybe betrayed him. The whole organization at this point probably feels like it failed him.
Reverence.
This, I am lost. So all I know, this is the, again, Anima Mistral area, because we can tell by the season, the trees, the outfits again. But this person, I don't think we've met yet. This kind of floating person, I think it's a man based on the outfit of the clothes. It could be someone who's cross-dressing and be a hint at a maiden. But I almost like the idea that it's a con of a sort, so that he's not actually floating, that they're using kind of a false god mentality here to fool the people of the area into thinking he has so much power. And that actually ties into who I think the blonde woman we see flash before our eyes for like a millisecond. I'll see if I can pause it right on her.
But the moment you put your desires before my own,
So then again, Salem.
will be lost to you.
So, I should mention that I think Salem's speech right here is directed towards Emerald, because she seems to be the one who's most concerned, and based on the ending of last volume with Cinder, many people think she gained the maiden powers, and I think that is very much possible. So it seems like it could be Salem threatening Emerald to stay with her, or else she's going to seriously get hurt, in a sense. Threatening her to stay, and you can even see later on, Emerald is scared. She doesn't want to leave in fear of getting hurt, or if she does want to leave, she knows she's going to be risking a lot. See? Wide eyes, very scared. Of course, Tyrion is lost it. He's also probably going to have a new tail that I've always thought is going to be robotic in nature, thanks to Watts, which we know is now a disgraced Atlesian doctor of some sort, which I think that means kind of a doctor as in professor of technologies. So I think he's been disgraced for some sort of robotic engineering and ethics. So I think he's involved with Tyrion's new tail. Of course, we learned that last season, but it's going to be mechanical is my thought, rather than Frankenstein-esque, I guess you could say.
Simply the truth.
Alright, so now we have one of the new Grimm that we were told about. This is going to be the Manticore, and I know there's a better shot when they're on the roof that I can probably pause better, that you can see that this one in the back here is clearly the Manticore that we saw in the sketches. So this is the first time we see the train actually getting attacked on the way to getting to Atlas. So let's continue on. This one, I think, is going to be a super, not stupid, but kind of silly thing. The way that it's all set up, it's supposed to be really intense. But I think this, because it's going to be the beginning, getting on the train, nothing's really happened yet, it's going to be a silly reason, like they're late and Ruby's just using her super speed not to miss the train, which I think it would be kind of funny, because it does put all of the powers in a grounded, more reality, that this is an everyday thing. This is not just for battle, and it kind of makes it funny. We haven't seen her use this form since Volume 4, I think, so it's good to see it again. Alright, so now we have the fight on the roof. So there's Crow, we have some of Ranger, and okay. Then we have this lady. I've been looking at this scene for so long, trying to get anything that can tell me more than just like milliseconds of actually seeing her, and just a little flip of a fan. So, from what I'm getting, she is of course important in some way. We have her in the middle, sitting down very comfortable, 2 guards on either side, matching her color scheme. We see a nice little goblet of fresh fruit and a kind of parfait thing. It's kind of fancy, so I think she definitely has the money in this situation, which, again, Lien right here, which I'm thinking that came from this unknown person kind of paying her debts, in a sense. She's some sort of like mob boss, maybe. Could be a part of the con for the floating man, maybe, if he's not, or I don't even know the gender. That person, whether they float or not, whether it's real, but I think she's going to be a part of that arc in some way. We just don't know what that arc is looking like yet, but I think she's a part of that floating man and reverence, bowing people thing, because I don't see that their outfits are very Atlesian, at least not yet. I'm curious to know this character in particular, though, but she interests me, but just because you haven't really seen many plus-size women or men in the series yet, and it's nice to kind of see that kind of representation, and especially if she looks like in a position of power, which I think she is. If you even noticed a little bit on this arm, her left shoulder, it's actually scarred. Like, she's been in a battle before. She's paid her dues. So it's kind of interesting to see her kind of wound on her arm so prominently displayed because of the cut of her sleeves. So I'm interested in this character a lot as a sort of mini-villain, I believe, a mini-villain. Alright, Relic. If I go back like 2 seconds, it's one of those blink and you miss it moments. So we have Ruby looking at the Relic, and here it is very clear that they did not win this battle against the Griffins when it came to the train. It crashed, which leads you on to what we saw first and foremost with them having to walk. This is it finally crashing. So we see the Relic is here, safe in a sense, and we'll see Oscar reacting to the Relic in a bit. I'll talk about that when we get there. Again, this kind of threat, I own you look, especially if Emerald is coming to terms with losing Cinder and that she's now in Cinder's place. It would be an interesting conflict. I'm interested to see how that plays out. Alright. Oh, yep, Adam lost it. We can see him clearly slicing through his once throne, because he does think White Fang turned on him. So this is him finally going rogue, I guess, completely going off the terms of White Fang. I am acting as Adam from this point on. Nothing can stop me, no morals or anything until I get my revenge. So I think this season is a last hurrah for Adam. They did hint at the end of the arc. So I guess the most satisfying end is some sort of death for him as a character, because he is getting to the end of what his usefulness is. So we'll see how that plays out. Alright, then we have Oscar here, kind of collapsing in pain, but what I like here is that he is reaching out towards the Relic in Ruby's hand. So I made a theory about this on Ruby Amino about my predictions, and one of them is that the Relic of Knowledge here, one of its abilities is to give you the voices of people who've died in the past. Because one of the ways knowledge was passed on for centuries is through talking to people. And I think that's what's happening here. So it would be interesting to see if what's happening right here is Oscar is hearing voices of someone who's died. But what makes it even better is if it's not actually connected to Oscar, but to Ozpin. Because on the promotional poster, we see both of them are kind of locked in a sort of battle as Oscar's trying to accept what's happening, and Ozpin looks like he's kind of regretting decisions that's kind of weighing on the people around him. So it could be one of those people that he sent off to do a mission that never came back. He's going to feel haunted in a sense, and then Ozpin and Oscar are going to have a little bit of inner turmoil as Oscar's trying to figure out who Ozpin is as a person rather than this all great and mighty powerful headmaster, nothing can go wrong. But what will the people who's actually worked with him, like Raven doesn't trust him, but what about the people who've actually died and start whispering into Oscar's ears? It would be interesting. Right now it seems like everyone else is concerned that whatever is happening to Oscar right now is worth attacking, because I don't think anyone else here can hear what he can. It's very directed at him. But look over here. Our little kitty is telling them to wait, especially Yang. Yang looks ready to hit a person, but Yang's telling her to hold up. Because what do you know about cats and their hearing? Cat ears, anyone? Very good hearing. She can probably hear what the other members of RWBY cannot. She could probably hear the whispers in a way that the other girls can't. So kind of puts it in perspective that this isn't what it seems. He's not going crazy. He's not attacking anyone. It looks like Yang thinks is about to attack, maybe, which is why she's so defensive. But we know that it would be interesting if Blake is probably the only one on Team RWBY that can really translate what is on the relic for others, that when it's not directed at them. And plus, it would give Blake more of a reason to be there when many people argue that Blake should have stayed behind in Menagerie to take over the White Fang with her parents. That would have felt like a more fitting place given her backstory. So her ability to hear what others can't would probably ground her into the volume a lot more. Alright, so this is again in the train, I believe. The attack has started, and this new character, an old lady, is going to be very important. I am not going to talk about her very much right now because I have so much to say, and I just want you to hold off until I can make a whole nother video about her, because everything I've come up with, oh my gosh, mind-blowing. If Rooster Teeth is doing this, if not, I mean, I'll just save it for my own writing, I guess, for the future, because what I predict this plot is going would be so on point for what they're doing with social commentary and what they aim for with inclusion. I am just really excited if this is what I think it is. Then again, Manticore. So we see one here. It's a lot more interesting. Again, team attack, and then we have Oscar again screaming, which I think is before he collapses and reaches out for the relic. So this is him kind of giving off that yell of anger and kind of confusion. And of course, Salem reaching out, a threatening gesture towards one of her underlings. So it's going to be a very interesting series volume this year, and given a lot of that stuff is happening within the first 2 or 3 episodes of the volume, I think we have a lot to look forward to. I will admit, my first watch through, I was a little bit underwhelmed with the things that I was shown, but after I kind of thought about the things I saw, I think we're in for one of their better volumes, and I am very much hoping that it's going to live up to the hype they've been claiming to have for this. Like, they mentioned only doing the Adam character short because they were focusing so much time on this, so I really want it to be as good as they're hyping it up to be. So this is all I have to say about the trailer for now. I'm going to be talking a lot about the old woman that we see in the trailer soon. I'm going to record that next. So if you are really interested in what I'm going to say, please consider subscribing to me. I'm going to try to post a little bit more, even though videos aren't usually my thing. So please consider it. And I'm going to try to maybe do reactions. If I can figure out live stream, I might do that on a weekend. And of course, don't forget the theories, which coming up, I'm going to try my first theory as a video instead of as an essay. So look forward to that. And please leave your comments down below. I always liked my post as conversations, and it doesn't change just because it's on a video now. So please put in the comments your reactions to the trailer. What did you like? What do you think of my little mini predictions here? What do you want to see? Because I think one of the greatest things about RWBY is that it's so inspired by other things. You can try to predict things yourself, and it just makes the possibilities endless. And that's what I loved about RWBY when I discovered it, that it's so inspired that it's inspiring myself. And that's where my theories come from. How I would have written the show is how I talk about my theories. So, thank you so much for watching and sticking around for my own ramblings. So, please consider subscribing, following me on Ruby Amino. Link is in the description if you have not seen the Amino yet. And I guess that's all I have to say right now. So, as always, guys, stay frosty, and I will see you guys in the next one.